Enuanom mekyea mu nyinaa megye sɛ ovia hoye. Oboade na do nti me nso me hoye. So I was going to post the second video in the vowel harmony series, but then I noticed a lot of you have been asking about the sounds of the vowels. The fact that they sound quite similar to your ears. So I thought we should go back and look at the sounds of the vowels one more time. This time around, comparing it to the vowel sounds that you are familiar with in English. Let's get started. So we said we have 7 vowels in Chi. So these are the 7 vowels, but these are only at the level of writing. So in terms of sounds, the actual vowel sounds that we produce, they are 10. And they are 10 because 3 of these 7 vowels represent 2 distinct sounds each. So there are 3 of these 7 that come with 2 distinct sounds each. And those 3 vowels are the A, the I, and the O vowels. So these 3, they represent 2 distinct sounds each. So when we add the extra 3 to the 7, we get 10 vowel sounds in total. But the extra sound for each of these 3, we don't write them in standard Chi. So when we want to represent them, we represent them by the A, the E, and the O vowels as seen here. So if we add the 3 extra sounds to the 7 that we have here, we get a total of 10 vowel sounds. And these are what we are going to be looking at in today's lesson, and try and compare that to what is already familiar to you in English. They may be different, but they are similar, so it will help you to perceive the difference between the sounds. Let's start with the regular A sound. When you hear me say A, this is similar to the A, the short A in the middle of a word like duck, right? Duck or back, right? So you see the A in there, duck, back, right? That A sound, that is what I'm referencing. So for Chi word examples, we have akoko, like we looked at in the previous lesson, right? So we have A, koko, A, koko. So A as in short A, right? Akoko, aponche, okay? A, ponche, adaka, a, da-ka, adaka, okay? So there's a, right? Adaka. So henceforth, if you hear the regular A sound, especially in the vowel harmony series, because I'll be referencing this sound as the regular A sound. So if you hear the regular A sound, this is the sound that I'm referencing. And I understand this can be a little bit confusing because what you're used to in English is not the same as what we have in Chi. So for the most part, the sounds that the various letters of the English alphabet are used to represent in English are not the same sounds that the corresponding letters in Chi, especially for the vowels, are used to represent. So for example, you are using U to represent the sound A in duck, right? So if you check the English dictionary, for example, you find that when it is transcribed, when you transcribe a word like duck, you don't use the U anymore because the sound in there is not an U, it is A. So you see it's transcribed with A sound. So in most cases, your struggles are not coming from the Chi side, it's actually from the English side, what you know from English. This is what you know. You know that the U in the middle of duck and back is actually A. You don't even have to think about it. But you're learning a new language where you're being told that that A sound is being represented by the A vowel. So this might even be easier because there's A and the sound is A. Okay, so that is the regular A sound that we have. Let's go to the second sound of this vowel, A. My Chi teacher from high school used to call this A bodamfo. A bodamfo. Bodamfo is, excuse my language, a crazy person, right? A mentally challenged person. So A bodamfo will be a crazy A because of how it is written. It's crazy. So the sound of this is eh. So the closest sound that I can think of from English will be the sound that you make at the beginning of a word like aeroplane. Aeroplane. Okay, so the at the beginning we have aeroplane. Aeroplane. So that sound, that is it. So for word examples, we have any, like we looked at in the vowel harmony introduction. Okay. By the way, if you've not taken that lesson, please, it's very important that you go back after this lesson to check it out before we post the second video in the series. It's very important. All right. So we have any for the I. We have esichri, 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 all right, esichri, and that is sugar, right? We have America, America, America. We have edru, 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 okay? We have pempru, pempru. In Ghana, there's a town in the eastern region called Ebri. Ebri. So here, Ebri, right? Ebri. But in writing, you see this written as A-B-U-R-E. Because in writing, this sound, just as the previous one, they are both represented by the vowel A. Okay? Let's go to the second vowel. We have E. E. E, and this is the sound that starts a word like is in English. Okay, so when you say is or ape, right? Ape, the E, that starts it. So not the diphthong, but the E, just the E sound, because this is a monophthong. It's just one sound. It doesn't move from one sound to the other. You know, in English, it's either it's a long vowel or it moves from one sound to the other. It's not so in Chi. It's just the pure E sound, right? And this is the case for all the sounds here. So we have E, E. So it's like saying say, but cutting it short. Say, say, say. So you hear the E there. Say, say. Play, 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 play. That E sound, right? That is what we are looking at here. So ape, ape. That E, that starts it. This is it. So for word examples, we had in the vowel harmony introduction, we had didi, okay, didi, noise, right? D. So you hear the E in there. Didi. We also had kitiki, ki, a train, okay, kitiki. We have efie, fie. So there's E at the start and then there's E at the end. Efie, ekru, okay, ekru. Now let's look at the second sound of this vowel, and that is E. So this E sound is the same as the sound that you find in the middle of words like sit, pit, fail. You know, those words. So the E in the middle. So this is quite easy, right? So that E sound, that is what we have here. And even in English, when you transcribe this, you see that there's E in there, that sign, right? I told you we don't write this in standard Chi, but when you transcribe, you use this. And it's the same as you have in English. So if you go to your English dictionary and you check for the transcription for words like sit, pit, and all that, you find that in the middle, they will have that sign, the same sign in there. So that is E, the E sound, okay? Now, by way of word examples in Chi, we have siri, okay? Siri, that is to laugh, right? We have achichidie, ache, che, die, ache, che, die. So we have 3 of these sounds in there. We have tia, 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 tia. So there's E before the A, right? So there are 2 S here. So we have tia, 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 ache, die, Sidie. Sidie, all right? Let's go to the next vowel. So we have this one, and this is one of the vowels in Twi that comes with just a single sound. And for this one, the sound is e, e, e. It's a short e sound. And this is the same sound that you find in the middle of the word pen in English. So, again, if you check with your English dictionary, you find that when we transcribe pen, you will find this e in there. So in terms of the vowel sounds in English, we actually do have this e sound, but we don't write it in standard English. We represent that in English with the E letter, right? But in Twi, we actually have it at the level of writing as well. So by way of word examples in Twi, we can have tefre, tefre, adie, so the e at the end, right? Adie, achichidie, okay, achichidie, esen, sen, so the e in front. We have esen, we have ebe, be, be. So you have two here, right? So that is the e sound. Let's go to the next vowel. So we have this one, and again, this is one of the vowels in Twi that come with just a single sound. And for this one, the sound is e. E, it's a short e sound. In English, for most words that you have this sound in there, they come as a long e. So for example, in see, right? When you say see, you see the e at the end. Imagine having that but short. So instead of see, you say si. I think it's in Spanish, right? So that e sound. This is the e that you find at the end of happy, right? When you say happy, I am happy. The p e there, right? Happy. City, right? Pretty. The e at the end, that is it. And again, even in English, when you go into your dictionary and check for the transcription of words that contain these sounds, you find that they actually represent that by this sign, this e, right? So if you check with happy or see and all that, you find that there's e in there. But at the level of writing, they represent that with Y, with E, and all that in English. So like I said before, a lot of your struggles are coming from the fact that your first language is English. So this is what you are used to. But even in English, when you transcribe, most people don't check the transcription of words. But if you did, you'd realize that even in English, in the transcriptions, these are the sounds that you find in there. Just that at the level of writing, they represent that differently. So for word examples that contain this particular sound in Twi, we have didi, okay? Didi, so here E, right? Didi. We have P. We have T. So it starts with an E and ends in A. So you have T, right? T. To the next one, we have this vowel. And this is the last vowel that comes with two distinct sounds. So we are starting with the first sound, which is O. And this is a pure O sound. I'm saying pure O sound because I realize that in English, most of the words that you have that contain sounds that are close to this one are actually diphthongs, as in they move from one sound to another. So it's not like a pure O sound, but it's like it moves from one sound to another. It's a diphthong. So for example, a word like this, the average Ghanaian will pronounce this as potent, because we see this O as a pure O sound, a mono sound. O, it doesn't move from one sound to another. But having taught this for a while, I realized that the American or the British, they pronounce this not as the pure O sound. It's a diphthong, so it moves from one sound to another. So here, O, so it's like potent. My Ghanaian tongue doesn't allow for this, but even if you check the dictionary, you find that when this is transcribed, it's not a single sound like a mono sound. Potent. It's not potent, it's potent. But you see where this is coming from? Because in Chi, and I'm sure in other indigenous languages of Ghana, the O is an absolute O. It's a pure O sound, a single sounding O, not a diphthong. So it doesn't move from one sound to another like you do in English. So while you say potent, we say potent, just potent, po, po, because it's a pure O sound. It's a single sounding O. So it doesn't move from one sound to the other like you do, right? So we say potent. When you say photo, we say photo, just photo. And I'm sure you're laughing at this point, but this challenge is not just with us. So I find that the challenge that this sound poses for us as Ghanaians when we are speaking English, it's not just with us. It gives away our accent, but it's same with Westerners when they try to speak local languages here. So that again gives away the accent, the fact that the person is not from here. I can't think of an example, but for lack of an example, let's say a foreigner wants to mention this word. You hear something like obolobo, something like that. But no, it's obolobo, right? Obolobo. Our neighboring country is Togo. Here it's Togo, not Togo, right? Not Togo. So when you say it that way, we know you are a foreigner. And since all the words in English that contain this U seems to be pronounced as a diphthong, so as one sound moving towards another, the closest example to this particular U sound that I can give is, when they do the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? The do, do, do. I don't think that one you say it as do, right? Do you do that? But just take this, the fact that it doesn't move from one sound to another. It's O, O, O. So for word examples in Chi, we have Osiu, Osiu. So there's O at the start, and then we have O at the end. So there's Osiu, not O. So don't say Osiu, right? Don't say that. So we have Osiu, Osiu. We have Opru, Opru, not O, no. So it's Opru, Opru, right? Opru. We have Ebru, Ebru. So there's O at the end, double, right? So we have Ebru. We have the Akan name Ofori, Ofori. So here Ofori, right? Ofori, right? Not Ofori. Don't say Ofori. It's Ofori. Okay, Ofori. The second sound of this vowel is O. 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 And this is similar to what you find in the middle of po, right? When you say po, or fo, right? When you say fo, that O in the middle, similar to this. So we have O, O, O. The only difference that I can perceive between this and the sound that you find in the middle of po and fo is the fact that this is more nasal in nature, right? So for the Chi version, it's nasal. It's O, O. So when you say a sound is nasal, it means when you produce it, it's perceived as though it comes through your nose, right? Your nose has an effect on the sound. So it's O, O. You hear O, O. It's as though I'm using my nose to add to the sound, right? So you have O, O, O. But aside that, it's similar to what you find in the middle of po and fo, right? So we have O sound. Now, for word examples in Chi, we can have koto. Koto, right? Koto, and that is to squat. Koto. We have ntoma. Ntoma. Ntoma, so here the O in the middle, right? Ntoma. We have poma. Poma, so here po, 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 the O there, right? We have poma. Poma, and that is the walking stick, right? We have kokra. Ko. cram, ko, cram, right? So you hear the o, ko, cram, cram. Let's go to the next vowel. We have this one, and again, this is one of the vowels in Twi that come with just a single sound. And this is o, o, o. And this is the same sound that you find in the middle of words like tall, call, fall. Just that in these words and a lot of English words that have this particular sound, the o is stretched, so it's long. It's a long o. So you hear call, tall, right? But in Twi, it's a very short o sound. So it's like saying tall, but cutting it short in the middle. So you say to. So that o that you find there, that is it. If you want to get the long version of this, then you need to double the vowel, right? So we have o, and by way of examples in Twi, we have odo, okay? Odo, love as a noun, right? So we have odo. We have ope, okay? Ope. We have okramine, so you hear the o there, right? Okramine. We have osamine, okay? Osamine, so you hear the o, all right? Now let's go to the final vowel, and that is this one. Again, this is one of the vowels in Twi that come with just a single sound. And for this one, we have this as u. Now, this is the same sound that you find in the middle of a word like soup, but in English, it's long. The u is long, right? So you cut it short because this is very short. So you have u. So it's like saying soup, but then you cut it somewhere in the middle. So you say soup, right? Soup. Or boots, right? Boots. It's long in the middle, so you cut it short. Boots. The u in there. And again, if you check with your English dictionary, you find that the transcription for both words, they have the u there, a long u. Now to some word examples that contain this sound in Twi. We have bu. Bu, so you hear the u, right? Bu. We have ebubru. Ebubru, right? Ebubru, right? So you hear the u in there, ebubru. We have ebufu.